What happened to Apple's entry into the gaming world? That they just give up on that?
Yeah, they're Apple Arcade.
Yeah, Apple Arcade's still around. They just released a couple of new games last week, didn't they?
Probably.
Something
I
like
never
that.
check my Apple Arcade. I have it too because I just
I'm not an Apple person anyway. So.
the only thing I used it for was I played a season on 2K mobile.
Yeah, see, I can't get into mobile games except for stuff like the Street Fighter Duel.
Well, that was the thing. I didn't play anything. I just did like the franchise mode thing or whatever, just to see how the mobile version was. Ass.
Because there's a mobile version.
That's true. That is true.
Mobile gaming is not for regular gamers.
No, not for real. No.
Because it's always going to be inferior to the actual gaming.
I thought they were gonna really try something when that Call of Duty came out, and they let you use controllers for like the first couple of weeks, and then apparently it became very obvious that having a controller was giving people a way bigger advantage, and so they were just like, no,
Well, use a controller.
no,
What's the problem?
it's not fair.
Yeah, I just saw that Dune 2 trailer.
I didn't see the trailer yet. It just come out.
Came out last week or week before.
Really?
Yeah. It's coming out sooner than I thought it was. I think it's
The
coming out.
Doom what?
Dune 2.
Like
The film.
The game?
No.
Oh. Is The Rock in it?
No.
Then what are we here for?
No, he talking about Dune.
Oh, Dune. I thought you said Doom.
No. Dune.
Yeah, Dune 2 definitely deserves. I mean, that needs to happen too.
Oh, I did see Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh, did you see Mario?
Wait, did you
yet?
see Mario yet?
No.
Okay. We asked you for the sake of the
I
show.
only had
Nolan.
enough time to do one fun thing, and all of my fun money got spent with my MRI last week. So I only had enough time and money to do one fun thing. So.
You know what's really fun, Nolan?
And I forgot Friday was the only day I had free time, and I forgot Guardians came out. So I was like, I'm gonna go see that. So that's what I did.
You know what's really fun?
What?
Being alive. So I understand you getting the MRI there.
Yeah,
I was supposed to see Guardians yesterday,
it's really good.
but then somebody said, "Oh no, but I don't feel that good." It's like, okay, load up Call of Duty. Okay, get well soon, Steve.
But no, it's really good.
That's what I had heard.
I haven't even seen the second one.
Really?
Really? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Well,
At some point I started checking out on the Marvel shit.
Actually, I didn't see Guardians 2 in theaters.
I didn't see Black Panther. I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
We know why you ain't seen it.
I haven't seen 1 or 2. I haven't seen Guardians 2. I haven't seen any of the Thors except for Ragnarok.
Well, that's the only Thor you need to see.
yeah. If
I mean,
there was
Love and
one-
Thunder is technically the second best Thor movie, but that doesn't really mean anything. And I liked Love and Thunder. I thought it was funny, but I understand why people didn't like it.
I've
But
actually liked all the Thor films, but the last two were definitely the best ones. With of course,
what happened in the second
Ragnarok
one?
being the best one.
'Cause I can't keep my eyes open every time I try to watch that one.
They were fighting the Dark Elves.
But it
It
took
was
like
so hard to understand.
well, because all the build up and stuff.
And it was the introduction of the Reality Stone. Which stone was that one?
Yes, it was.
I think that was Reality
Yeah, it
Stone.
was reality.
Yeah, but you find out at the end that's what the Aether was, in the post-credit scene. Yeah, it's like we shouldn't just be we shouldn't just be out and about with the Infinity Stone. It's like what?
Boom. Wait for the next movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just made too many.
Different time.
So I just said screw it. I'll just watch Endgame and Endgame 2 or whatever the fuck they were called. Was it Infinity War?
Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah.
They could have just said in game 1 and 2.
Well, it originally was supposed to be Infinity War Part 1 and 2, but then they changed the name of the last one to Endgame.
Also, yeah, Ryan got to pay out a bunch of money because apparently they just weren't paying them women. Riot had to pay out like $100 million. It's been they've done a great job of keeping it quiet. A bunch of gender discrimination stuff.
Oh,
yeah, it's a class action suit. They pay like each person was getting like at minimum like $5,000 up to like 40, depending on like the severity of their cases and stuff. Yeah, it was wilding over there.
Well, at least they did it, even if they were forced.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if any games will be hurt by the writer's strike.
I think that's just Hollywood.
Yeah. I know animation didn't pause because they're a different writers guild, and they
I'm
don't.
pretty sure games are the same.
Yeah. Well, it depends because some of the people who've worked on games have been actual like union authors. But most of the time they try to not have those people.
I remember years ago when the voice actors did a strike on games the first time, or at least threatened to. I think they actually did for a while. But one of the things they were saying that apparently didn't happen, because I hear it still happens now, is like, and we want to know what game we're actually doing. Because a lot of them will just get scripts with, fake names and stuff, and then they find out they're in, Grand Theft Auto. It's like, you only gave me like $4,000. Yeah. It's like that's when the chick from what you would call it should have been like, hey, I want a piece of the pie.
Oh, you talking about Bayonetta?
Yeah. I want half a percent of sales money. And I can retire.
Did you see that they've?
Oh yeah. Carl Urban from The Boys. He's the Johnny Cage. I like it because I like the energy he brings to roles. But like visually, like physically, I mean, obviously you could change how somebody looks and stuff like that. But like, I was like, I don't know if he looks like Johnny Cage. Like if he's going to be, it doesn't seem like he can make like a jerk face enough for me. But he probably can.
He probably can.
No, he can fight though. He's already been doing all them action scenes for that. Zelda leak. You look it up, Nolan?
No.
What you mean? You didn't want to torrent it and?
Yeah, don't you like to see all that shit before it comes out?
No.
Not what you had said.
That's what you had said.
No.
Yes, it is. I gotta see everything before it comes out.
No, I didn't. I want
all of it.
I want to know about the game. I don't want to know about the story and stuff.
Oh, okay. You just trying to see what your line is, Nolan. That's all. Mm-hmm. See your line in the sand is. I don't want to do. I don't want to.
All I watched. When was it? Last Tuesday? Yeah, it was last Tuesday morning.
Didn't you watch the trailer with all the story stuff already? The one that Nintendo released?
Well, they're not going to show you really anything.
Yeah,
they showed you something.
Not really.
And then you can go and
Ganondorf is in it, right?
Well, yeah, because he was in the trailer.
Exactly. I haven't even.
He was in the original trailer.
You just spoiled it for me. I was just guessing.
He was in the original trailer a year ago.
First of all, how's anybody supposed to know there's going to be a Legend of Zelda game where Ganondorf is in the game? That's not something that we know. It's always a coin flip. It could be a pig.
That's true.
Now, when I know I'm playing or watching something, I don't watch anything.
Yeah, that's why I checked out on most of that Final Fantasy stuff. I don't want to see too much.
Mm-hmm. Like Star Wars, when the prequels came out, and when the ones that came out last time, I hadn't watched any trailers for any of those.
Well, the prequels I couldn't really help back in the day because if you watch TV, them things was getting blasted.
Yeah, it was everywhere.
Well.
Yep. I think I saw the preview just for the first one, but the other ones I avoided. I just close my eyes and start humming. Mm-hmm.
See, young Zach. What? Watching Saturday morning cartoons or something? I don't want to see it.
That was another thing. I didn't watch Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yeah?
My ass was asleep.
Oh.
Because I stayed up late Friday night. I've always been a night owl.
Oh, no. Trust me. We stayed up Friday night, and then somehow, without alarms or anything, as soon as the first time I get up,
yep.
All right, yep, got to do it. Because all it takes is one person to start the Saturday morning cartoon routine.
Nope.
Hey, anybody pouring some cereal or something?
You know what happens? Covers go over my head. Fuck this. I'm going back to sleep.
I ain't miss X-Man, did I? I was just trying to make sure. I hate Cyclops. That's the cartoon made me not like Cyclops, but Cyclops is actually a really cool character in the rest of X-Men media.
Engage.
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Winners Don't Use Drugs, presented by Engage Gaming, episode 82. I'm Darius here with Zach.
What up?
84% Nolan?
Well, what was our last week? 87?
Yeah.
We'll stick at that.
You want to stay with 87?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Over under still. He's going over right now, y'all.
Hopefully this time next week it'll be 100.
Ooh, 100.
We'll see. I might get a
like
6-inch syringe stuck in my back. We'll see.
That's just called.
I'll find out on Wednesday. So
that's a knife, Nolan. And you like the Predator, the thing
Hello,
they do to the Predator?
and welcome to
A syringe is not a knife. Syringe is a needle with a hole in it.
No, 6 inches is wild for it to be still considered a needle.
They got to get it in there.
That's what
Pause.
she said.
Could go either way. I love it. We're officially at like the real calm before everything pops off.
Yeah.
Like Zelda,
Friday it begins.
Zelda comes out Friday,
No, it's getting delayed.
but that would be wild. Hey, I know y'all got them in the back. Take them off the shelf. Put them back in the box. Got to ship them out.
Somehow there's some code where Zelda's naked through the whole game.
Oh, no. I'm going to every Walmart every day this week and see if I can find one on the shelf.
Oh, you definitely might.
If we had more
Pretty much Wednesday.
mom and pop shops, I'd be there every day.
Yeah, but right nowadays, mom and pop shops don't get them.
Yeah. As a
Yeah.
mom and pop shop, let me tell you,
Yeah,
we don't
we
get
didn't get it.
There was True Value over on Airport.
the deep cut right there.
They used to only sell the big games, and they almost always broke street date. It was great. It was also the seat.
Isn't True Value a hardware shop?
Exactly.
Yes.
They trust True.
There was-
Okay, I'm just making sure.
No,
I
you're
didn't,
not
like-
tripping. You're not tripping.
Yeah,
True
yeah.
Value would be.
They would the
Not
one
a bad
the one
day.
up on Airport. They only sold the biggest games when they came out, and it
But
was
why?
the
If they're a hardware
it was the
store.
place that folks knew about but didn't tell anybody else. When the PS2 came out and you couldn't find one anywhere, go there at least once a week. You were able to get one, but everybody who knew didn't say it.
Bro,
But it's a hardware store.
Yeah,
True Value.
they wanted the money, man.
True Value rented games, like the one that was in like Creola rented games.
Really?
Yeah, so like going to like my dad during that time, especially during like the SNES and previous times, he was doing house remodeling. That was his business. So I would be with him, and he'd be like, "I gotta go to True Value." I used to be like, "Cool." If you say we're going to Home Depot, I'd be like, "Ah." But True Value, I can go up and just slide around, and he'd be like, he'll find me in the game section and be like, "You want one, don't you?" Yeah. But yes, the hardware store was a reliable source of video game rentals
Fuck.
and or purchases. They don't. I mean, are there still True Values?
Yeah, yeah, they definitely are.
They don't do.
I know the one in
video game
Creola
anymore?
closed like
I-
20
I'm-
years ago.
I'm almost sure. I haven't seen one that's done games since the PS2 era.
Different time, man.
Yep.
Trying to get it in.
That's so weird.
Oh yeah. But I think at one point video games kind of penetrated real hard with the NES stuff, and it kind of held over for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as I we all played games for forever, there was definitely a drop in clientele as we went from like after the SNES going through the PlayStation. The PS2 doesn't count because it was such a great price DVD player. That
Right.
It ended up being in everybody's houses since they already had one. You might as well get Grand Theft Auto because kids love that.
Unfortunately.
It got me through many a random occasions of being at somebody's house I did not want to be at for a while. I know I got PS2 somewhere around here. Grand Theft Auto with no memory card. Shameful.
Shoot the cops and see how long you'll live.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much all you could do. It's like
That's the way I always ended my gameplays. Even every Grand Theft Auto since 3. That's the way. When I knew I was about to stop. All right, it's time to throw a grenade in the middle of the street and see how long I live.
I did it. I caused an inordinate amount of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
See if I can get the tanks after me and the black vans and the helicopters.
yeah. The special agents start coming down with the body armor.
Yep.
Where's Grand Theft Auto 6, man? Stop playing with us. Made no sense.
It'll be out when it's out.
Some of the games we better see something. Just show a splash art, man. Just make me feel better.
I don't think so.
I know we not.
We won't see anything until next year.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's had such a good track record too. I hate y'all being so good at your jobs.
And it'll be a launch title on the Switch too.
Brother, that would be
I don't think we get a Switch 2.
I think we do. I mean, not necessarily a Switch 2, but Nintendo's next console. I'm starting to believe it's out next year.
Oh, yeah. But I'm saying it's not going to be anything like the Switch.
I think it's gonna
No,
be.
I don't
I think it's gonna
think-
be
no.
a
I think it'll be
stationary
compa-
console.
I think it'll be
Didn't we talk about that
compatible.
before? I
Yeah,
think,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
It'll be
it's
compatible, but
I
it's
think it's going to be
stationary.
a.
I think it'll be compatible.
I think
but
it's
won't be-
I think it's a home console that can play Switch games, but it's not. It's not a
But I think
hybrid
they
console
keep-
again.
I think they keep their
The Switch becomes their handheld,
yeah.
and their new console becomes their new home console.
so they keep the support. That's what I was looking for. The support of the Switch.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's gonna be a Switch 2. I think that'd be a dumb on their part if
Yeah,
they make a
no.
Switch 2.
No, I mean, yeah, if it's not going to be a hybrid machine again, do not call it a Switch. Don't make the same mistake you made with the Wii U.
First and foremost, they made a mistake by instead of saying 2, they put U.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That is the single
all of
greatest
it.
marketing fail.
I
by
watched that
Nintendo.
whole thing, and
Yeah,
when,
it probably
when he
would've done
said
better as a Wii
when
2.
he said
Wii
Wii
2.
U and they showed that video, I was like, oh God, folks are going to be confused. No one's going to know what this thing is because they never once actually showed the console.
Nope,
they only
kept
showed
showing
the pad.
The dude was all
And
talking about.
I was like, folks, grandmas are going to walk into GameStop wanting to pre-order that pad so they can turn their Wii into a Wii U.
You know how many people that came into GameStop during that time asking us, can't they just get the pad? And we're
Yeah,
like,
so
no.
Yeah, you can.
I
It
get the
comes with
pad,
this console.
and it's a Wii U, right? It's like no, it's a console.
oh, and the Wii U is shaped very similar to the Wii.
yeah,
But not quite. It's like a slimmer, rounded version.
yeah, it's
like,
more rounded. Yeah,
why are you trying to confuse people? Like,
it was just everything was wrong with it.
even the ad campaign, like the commercials for it were like, that looked like a Switch game. Like, but it ain't though.
So hopefully Nintendo has learned from that mistake. Whatever they do, if it's not like the Switch, even if it's similar to the Switch in some way, but it's not exactly like the Switch, first of all, show the actual console itself and don't call it a Switch.
Watch it have some weird stuff about it. Like if they do another handheld, like it's gonna be like, oh, you can use the Joy-Cons, but this is a different system. Like they're gonna do something confusing with it to be like, well, I just need to get the pad.
And you know the worst part is you're probably right because it is them. And you're thinking, even though with the Switch everything has more or less been done right, they would do something
Well,
like
they got to
that.
alternate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Capcom and sequels and stuff. It's just like, look, we're going to mess up one of these and then we'll get it back right. Like, I love the GameCube, but I know exactly why that system didn't do well. There were so many little things Nintendo did to make it just not quite as marketable and easy to penetrate as the other systems. And even though they had some of their top tier games on the GameCube were incredible. That's why some of those end up being hits on the PlayStation 2, like Resident Evil 4. But it's Nintendo. Then we get the Wii, which, whether people like it or not, was an incredible thing, and it did a great job for Nintendo and for gaming as a whole again.
One of the highest selling consoles of all time.
Pushing it more into the mainstream even more again. And then they did the Wii U. And everybody's like, why would you do that? And they're like, it's okay. We're going to come out with the Switch next and you guys are going to love it again. And now it's time for them to do something weird. Okay? Is this just how they get down?
I just hope it's just let it be a console. Just let it be a console with a controller
And 4K.
and 4K. That's all it needs to
First
be.
and foremost, somebody's going to walk on stage and they're going to put on a hat of some sort. And you're going to be thinking like, wow, that's a weird looking visor looking thing. And it's going to be like, surely they're not trying
Honestly,
to do the
too.
virtual board all over again. They're going to be like, guess what, guys? People don't understand. We were the first people to go into VR because we knew the potential. And now we're coming back again.
It's all red.
Introducing Switch VR. Ah!
Yay! It's gonna be like, oh man, am I gonna play like first person Mario? You think you are? Never. You're never gonna do that, okay? But what you can do is wear this thing where you play Mario in this thing.
Yeah. It's still left to right, but
You use a regular controller, not like little hand things.
No, not at all. It's gonna be like, so why am I doing this? Because this is what we're doing.
We want to
guys.
give you a migraine.
Well, if I have a Switch, can I at least connect my
Shut up.
Joy-Cons for motion controls?
No,
You
never.
take the Joy-Cons off and slide it in.
Oh my God.
That's it. Hey, if this happens, I'm telling you, I'm making videos and everything about this. You slide the Joy-Cons onto
helmet.
onto whatever.
You need the gyroscopes.
Because you need the
wow,
gyroscopes.
that's right.
we were able to integrate Joy-Con technology.
And it's got the camera, so whichever Joy-Con has the camera, it's got to face out so it can see out too. That camera that only 2 games I've ever used.
How many people were in the meeting that let this get past them? How many levels does this get past? Okay,
Touched everybody.
I'll tell you right now.
I'm so upset because I know this is gonna happen. Something like this.
If Shigeru Miyamoto gets on stage and puts on a VR visor, bro, I'm cut. I'm not watching anything else. I'm done. I'm out. Okay. Because I know he's gonna be like, "Look how neat this is." Click, click. No. Please don't.
Oh God.
You want to play tennis against Mario? No, I don't. I really don't. Yes, you do.
Well, I kind of do, but
Hey, I take that back. I kind of do want to play tennis because you know the Switch VR set is gonna have some sort of version of Wii Sports, but they're gonna be like, this
But
time
it's-
we
yeah.
put your Mii's and the Mario characters in there.
Oh, God.
This is incredible.
yeah.
We had Chris Pratt come to the studio after the movie. Okay, Charlie Day, Keegan Michael Key, Jack Black, all of them. We got them back in the studio. Not for a game based on the movie, because that's stupid, okay? We just had them do voice lines for the sports game for the Switch VR.
Right.
Lock it in, okay, bud? This Nintendo has put all of its money, whatever liquid assets they had.
Oh, they have a
this.
lot.
Yeah, it's but
That's why they can afford to do stupid stuff because they have enough money to live for the next 100 years.
never lost.
Yeah,
Never posted a loss, baby.
once, only once,
Allegedly.
only once.
If sir, if you keep talking like
In
that,
100 years.
some nice Asian guys are gonna come to your house and say, "We heard what you said." We're gonna DCMA you
Only
in
once
person.
in 100 and some odd years. Yeah, so
Playing card days, you know what I'm saying, was a different time. You know,
Yeah.
laws was different.
that's it. But yeah,
I can't believe you gave me think of this. Now, dang it,
man, yeah. Now I'm not as excited as I was.
I'm gonna be
Because like I told
so
y'all,
scared.
because it's like, oh, of course they're going to do something stupid. It's them, and I'm going to be behind it, and there's going to be some fantastic stuff on it. But
You're gonna have to see. That's the thing is when they do
I
weird
enjoyed
systems.
the Wii U. So
That's what I'm finna say.
I
So
did too.
when they do these weird things, whether it's the GameCube, Wii U, Wii, there are some really good experiences in there. So you can't just be like, "Oh, the system sucked." No, it doesn't suck. Okay, they find ways that if nobody else, Nintendo and probably like Capcom or one other company will find ways to make some incredible experiences on that platform that can only work on that platform.
yeah,
We're gonna have to sift through so much garbage.
yeah.
there was actually more
get
garbage
to
on the Wii than there was on the Wii U.
Oh, the Wii was wild.
Everybody always says that, and not that it's not true, but why does the PS2 get a pass? You remember the amount of crap on that thing?
It wasn't as bad as the Wii. Is
Hey.
why.
I disagree.
I've never
No,
seen.
there's
I've never seen.
shitload of shovelware pre-mobile games on the Wii.
You know why the PS2 gets a pass is because a lot of those games you're talking about, Nolan, had a thing next to it that said PlayStation iToys. So we discard that whole library of games.
Well, it was PS3 though.
The first one, the first camera was on the PS2.
Yeah, it was. On the
Was it?
PS2.
Yeah, Hey, exactly. You don't even pay attention to it. But there was a whole bunch of trash on that camera thing alone.
No, I think there's far more trash on the Wii than there was on the PS2.
Listen, the Wii games was coming out. They was like $5
Oh, I
on
know.
launch.
Yeah, I know.
They
Yeah,
was-
yeah. But I had to count PS2 games for years.
So did we.
Hey, we wait.
I know.
No,
all
don't
the
try
crap
and-
that
don't
was
try
on-
and throw that plight on us.
We moved them units, baby. We was getting shipments every day of PS2 games. Broken cases, no books, just loose discs, not even in sleeves. They just box full of discs. Put it on the shelf, move them. Okay, that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
We, on the other hand, the white cases was getting abundant. So many times you could stack a case on top of each other. Backstock got a box of what was it, Game Party Night or something like that?
I don't know.
With the bad, because it was all bad versions of Wii Sports, so it'd be like bad darts and bad bowling and
Well, and the difference between the PS2 and the Wii is so the bad games on the PS2 were still full-fledged games for the most part. With the Wii, it was shovelware. It was just like these cash grabs.
hey,
There were
I'm
plenty
telling
of
you right
cash
now,
grabs on the PS2.
No, but they were full-fledged games. Like what?
you gonna say some game that starts with 7 consonants that don't count. Okay, we didn't play that.
No, what I'm serious. Like, what games are you referring to?
I can't think of any right
Exactly.
now. So.
I just think
know.
like the games that didn't work well on the Wii had the bonus of not working well, like not being a well put together game, and then the motion controls don't work. So now you got a double useless game.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like the bad Wii Sports
Nintendo
games.
seemed to be the only company that could actually make good motion control games. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Well, Marvel Ultimate Alliance worked really well, but you was only doing like 4 motions, so you didn't have to do too much.
Yeah,
Steve was just doing this the whole time, throwing the shield out, and then
that was definitely an issue. Ubisoft, I guess, with Red Steel 2 was actually pretty good.
the motion controls off Red Steel.
Yeah, but they were still there.
Oh, you can still do them in 2? I thought they just got rid of them.
No, yeah, it was definitely still there, but it was optional. But they were actually really good.
Well, they ain't even. I forgot about that movie, bro.
Balls of Fury.
We was doing anything back then.
Oh my god.
I honestly wish we got more Balls of Fury type movies now. I like when people just try stuff.
The movie itself wasn't terrible.
No. But I'm saying like the idea that they would just make a movie based on ping pong.
Yeah.
Like they won't even try that now.
No. They're
Probably not.
afraid of offending somebody.
That or like comedies don't sell. Can't make a comedy movie because it's not gonna gross $270 million day one.
Oh, that too. It's not going to be a big blockbuster hit.
Yep.
Speaking of trying stuff, me and Nolan tried a game.
We did.
Tried it a couple of times actually.
Yeah.
Play some Redfall. Now, we'll preface this before I give my thoughts on it, and Nolan gives his thoughts. I want to share some of the thoughts of people that I've talked to about their experience with the game. When it's tough to fight, it's fun. Okay. It's a thing I've heard several times. Kennard told me, say, I'm going to be honest with you, man. One of the worst games I've ever played in my life.
There ain't no way.
I challenged him on that, but he was like, look, tell you when I was playing, because also he's playing by himself, which, full disclaimer.
Those games aren't made to play by themselves.
Yeah, that's probably the worst
should
way to
never-
play it.
Redfall,
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead,
Back for Blood.
Back for Blood. None of those games
World
are
War
meant,
Z.
Yeah, none of those games are meant to be played by yourself.
Yeah.
And if you play by yourself, that's your own damn fault.
I've also seen people say they've had really great time. They, want more games to just be fun like this. I see people complain about the difficulty levels and things like that, where it's too easy, which I get. I understand. Okay. Game is about as middle of the road for me as it possibly can be.
It's like Back for Blood, right?
Yeah, it is slightly, and you know what the crazy part is? There are things about the game that are better. Like Back for Blood, probably overall package, better game. Just overall, top to bottom, category list, better game. But there's certain things that Redfall does better than Back for Blood, like just the level up system. There's actual like skills and abilities you get, and not weird cards that do like a slight change to assault rifle damage or, melee speed is 10% faster. None of that weird stuff. Like actual upgrades. Okay. Got an actual loot system. You got different weapons that you find, weapon types, unique weapons that, things that make my brain excited when I see, purple or blue and orange and stuff like that. So things are pretty cool. Characters have different cutscenes based on who you're playing. While I was playing my character and Nolan was watching my stream, my cutscenes for the story missions were different than his.
Yeah. Some of them were real different.
Yeah,
They
which
be saying different stuff.
But both of our characters were in our cutscenes too. Like and
His was the main character on his cutscene. I'm taking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
basically.
like because they have like skins and stuff, which is again another thing that a lot of these like just buddy up and play games. Sometimes they don't focus on some of the cosmetic stuff. They got skins in there, and when you put a skin on, whatever you're wearing, you wear in the cutscenes. So me and Nolan look like firefighters.
That's been
running around.
more normal in like the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate that shit when you have different like outfit and then the cutscene goes to the default one.
Well, yeah, because you can render it in real time now. So
Which again, there's some
That's
stuff
helpful.
about it. But there's also a lot of issues with the game. But I'll let you give your thoughts, Nolan.
So yeah, I was pretty much the same way. It was middle of the road. It's like that. Gameplay wise, my biggest nitpick was that there was nothing great about it, but it wasn't bad. Now there are other things that I can nitpick on it though.
Yeah.
Graphically, and I know that's outside of the bugs that folks were having with it when it was
Don't
first
kept
out and everything.
teabagging in my game.
Oh yeah, which I was not doing.
You say that,
So I would
but
hear
me
you
and everybody
say
else who's watching.
I would hear you say, and I look over at your stream, and sure enough, and I was just bouncing around. It's like I'm just standing here. I don't know what's going on.
I think when the game was tripping, it was probably some of the most fun because it would be like enemies would like start popping in.
Yeah.
And like I think it's more quality of life that makes the game more mediocre. Because if things work the way it was supposed to, like if you get to an area and there's supposed to be vampires and stuff around, but it doesn't seem like sometimes they populate correctly.
Something was because I remember when we played on Tuesday, it did seem really easy. Like I'm running around, I was like, are we supposed to be fighting anybody? Are we just supposed to be running with
When I first
nothing
tuned
to
in, I
do?
was like, "Is there any enemies in this
Yeah.
game?"
But then by the time I joined you on Wednesday, it seemed like there were vampires everywhere.
Yeah, it felt like it was making up for the fact because we did a lot the first time we played. Like as far as I think there's multiple maps you go to, but the map we started on, like we had made a lot of progress and we had been like beating the big dungeons for each of the areas and all that stuff. You're basically supposed to do it like very Far Cry-ish, where and it same Dishonored. This same Arcane, the same people made Dishonored.
Yeah.
So like Dishonored had the same kind of thing where you start at the bottom of whatever the tree is and you work your way up and eventually you get to the big bad of the entire thing. But then the next day it was like you guys got too far too fast. So now everywhere you go there's gonna be vampires, and now the vampires got vampires. And then also people shooting at you.
Yeah.
Go.
Seemed a little nuts, but I could see where folks, because I talked about it a little bit last week, kind of like Microsoft needs to figure out what's going on with their first party games, because I know Game Pass is their thing, but after a while, if you're not getting, this was what everybody was hanging their hat on.
This was the AAA
If
game.
you have an Xbox, this was the game. This was the one that was finally going to get you by until the next big thing comes out, which you have no idea when it's going to happen at this point. And I can see where folks might have been disappointed, because graphically, that's my biggest thing. Arcane always has a certain style that their games look like and everything. But even with that style, this game looked lackluster.
It looked worse than Dishonored 2.
It looked worse than Dishonored 2, yeah.
And
which is how many years old?
Exactly. And it looked considerably worse than Deathloop, which was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It like Deathloop doesn't look incredible, but it looks like a next gen game.
Right.
This game looks like Dishonored 2-ish, which is an Xbox 360 era game, like Xbox One, Xbox 360, like that type of era where we're not fully into HD stuff.
And that's the biggest knock I can put on the game, because it was like I was expecting. Because when I started it up, you get the little front scene and everything, and I saw you playing a little bit, but I was busy trying to set everything up to get in the game with you.
Like I wasn't around anything in the beginning. It was all like, just me exploring like the ship area. And then, you walk out into the thing. Like I'm doing the first part of it and I'm like, it don't look bad.
It doesn't look bad, but it's like you were expecting a little bit more from
Arcane.
Arcane's, first, next
Arcane
gen.
under Bethesda, under Microsoft.
Yeah.
You signed to a dude that signed to another dude.
You should be having dude money.
Exactly. What's happening?
So that is like, okay, I can see where folks might be disappointed with that. And then I have a pretty nice rig.
Well, that was going to be the other thing. So the rig you're playing on and the rig that I'm playing on aren't bad. They're pretty good.
I mean, it's a pretty good rig. All of a sudden, my frame rate would drop to like 10. Just for no reason. One time, me and you were standing on a hill doing stuff, and just all of a sudden, I couldn't move.
So, and I was thinking about this while we were playing the second time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it might be one of those, because you mentioned it on stream. It might be another one of those cases of it being like, we just gonna load everything at once.
Just unoptimized, yeah.
So when you're talking about the time because we were on that hill and we were like, hey, are we gonna go? We're trying to come up with a plan to take this camp that had vampires and humans.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, yeah. And we end up having the big Nightshade vampire that we didn't even know was a thing, which is, there are some cool things about it. Like there was the vampire we ended up fighting could make like darkness dome around you. So you couldn't see what was going on around you, but also the enemies couldn't either. Anybody only could see what was inside the dome.
Yeah.
But it was like the game was freaking out because there was technically a vampire behind us, which we didn't see.
That's right. We didn't see him.
And then there was all of these people in front of us, but then it kept feeling like it was trying to load more people in, because even after we killed the vampires and most of the people, it was still in like combat mode, and it wouldn't let us like finish the mission. And then Nolan ended up finding like 3 stragglers off in the corner somewhere, and it was like, you did it.
Yep.
Good job.
And I was stuck in the ground.
Yeah,
at one point.
Yeah, you were stuck in the ground.
I was like, what? I can't move. What's going on?
Yeah. But yeah, it does suck, man, because I wanted this game. One, I just wanted it to be good. Like we always want all these games to be good.
Yeah.
But again, for the Game Pass users, it was supposed to be like, bro, it's been like 2 years since Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a year and a half.
Yeah,
A year and a half. Yeah.
But like it feels like
It
like it's longer. Like it's like Halo did come out on Game Pass. Like that was a big deal. That was a big game. But it's like it doesn't feel like it's recent enough. And with the all of the constant delays of
everything, it seems like
we can't, bro. Can't use COVID as an excuse for development for games that were in development pre-COVID.
Yeah.
You could tell me things that were supposed to go into development were delayed, and that's why they started late. But all the stuff that's been out, that was announced like what are we doing?
Yep.
So if we got to wait all this time for your games, and then they come out and they feel like this ain't the way, dog.
Like this one in particular, like I say, the biggest knock I can put on is that it doesn't look or feel like what you would expect a next gen game would be. It feels like an old game kind of. Now again, that's not to say it wasn't fun though, but I would definitely recommend playing it with somebody.
I would love to play it with 4
because half
people.
of the fun was me. The way I looked on your screen and laughing, at least when something bad was going on, like that, we could laugh at it.
Nolan couldn't heal himself for the first day and a half.
Oh yeah, I couldn't even heal myself. That's right, I forgot about that.
Well, you gotta hit the button.
He could heal me.
I could heal him, but I couldn't heal myself.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't know if that's a bug that anybody else has got on the PC game, but whenever I mapped it to a keyboard button, it wouldn't work. I mapped it to my mouse 4 button, and then all of a sudden it did work. And then I mapped it back. No, I mapped it to my mouse 5 button and finally worked, because I mapped it to mouse 4 first and it still didn't work. Mapped it to mouse 5, it worked. Put it back on the keyboard. It didn't work the first time I tried it, but then it did. So I don't know what that was all about. But
the shop wasn't refreshing at the main base too for me. The second day, like after like,
oh yeah, I kept hearing you saying.
Yeah, I kept going to the shop, and
yeah.
it was just 2 uncommons. I was like,
so I guess they want you to find the good stuff in the world.
Yeah, there's also some quality of life things in the way the game is presented. For example, you have to use these lockpicks, right? You can only carry 3 lockpicks at once, which again, that's another reason why you should probably have people to play it with, because when you go out for like basically like a mission run, just going from point A to point B, you're probably going to run through supplies, and you're probably going to need somebody else to have them, along with like the rewiring kits and all the other these other little interact with the world things you're going to need. But the game doesn't really tell you that those things are necessary. It's just kind of like you go to a door and it's like, you need a lockpick. So, okay, so where do I get that? You could find one maybe. Also, the dude at your base sells them. But
yeah, it
we're not going to tell you that.
Definitely could have done a better job of maybe a tutorial or something. Now, I didn't play the very beginning of the game because I joined you and yours.
Literally, I had just
so I don't know if there was.
But I walked straight for 10 minutes.
But yeah, I was confused about a few things, and then there was the little statue things that put the blood mist stuff out. And it's like,
there's these things that they basically put like this poison out. It looks like red mist or whatever. And when I was playing, because I did the intro part and I was talking in chat, and they were like, does the red mist power up the vampires or what does it do? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't get a prompt on my screen. You know, normally this little thing pop up. Hey, this does this.
It's like the first time you run across something, it should introduce it put a line of dialogue in there or something. I guess we need to do something about this. Something to at least get the ideas going.
Well, the only thing I knew was that one of the times I came across one, there was a light switch. I hit the switch, UV light went on it, it stopped it from shooting out the mist. So we thought it was like, okay, you got to find the UV switches. And at first we kept finding. So we were like, all right, yeah. So whenever we see one of these things, find the switch, and then we good.
First two or three times there was a light near it already, and then all of a sudden there weren't.
And we get to the city part, and there's them things everywhere.
Everywhere.
So unless we're supposed to just go across the rooftops.
It's like maybe they want us to use our skills to get around them, but I feel like you should be able to destroy them.
You have to use your UV gun, and then somebody has to shoot it after you make it disabled, then they can destroy it.
Yeah.
You actually get XP and stuff, which would have been really cool to know. But you guys didn't want to tell us that, I guess. I don't know.
They did tell you. They had the lights on the first couple ones.
They ain't tell me I could shoot them. There was no indication that you were able to kill them.
That's true.
I mean,
I did.
Figured it out, didn't you?
I did ask if he thought that's the way we should do it. And he said no, and then I went and tried it. So
yeah. He just.
I was like, I waited for him, and then I just walked up to it.
I was so mad. I was like, no, but I'm telling you, you can't kill it. Because see, what I tried to do was I tried to disable it and then switch weapons and shoot it. But by the time I switched weapons, it reactivated. So I was like, oh, that's not enough time. No one was like, well, what if you deactivated?
So that means you needed more than one person.
Boom. Yeah. So to that point, it's again, you probably should be playing this with at least another person.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, not great, but hopefully there's some updates to it. There's things they can do shortly into it. And I know they had that article about they weren't done supporting it. Like Phil Spencer came out and said, it was not Arcane's fault the way the game launched. It was Microsoft. Like Microsoft failed them. They didn't fail, Microsoft.
And it was funny in that interview, I watched that whole thing. And it's funny the way he describes it. Now, I know he's the CEO of, all of Microsoft games and everything. So, he's not just staring at one game, although perhaps after this, he's thinking, maybe I should pay a little more. He's trying to get this, the big Activision thing going and everything. That's his job.
And that failed.
But the way he described it was, all right over there.
Keep going.
The way he described it was as if it was a huge shock to him.
Yeah,
like he never laid eyes on the game, and he only saw the reviews and the comments coming in, and he was confused. Like, wait a minute! I was told this was going to be an 8, and I'm seeing 5s and 6s.
Yeah,
what's going on? It's like, did you never even lay eyes on your next big release?
It's a game that's made by a dude that's signed to another dude. There's two, like somebody mentioned this online, and it's a very valid point. They bought like 25 studios.
Yeah.
Like these aren't just like, some of them were indie studios, like very smaller studios.
But some of them not so small.
Some of them are Arcane, who already had
who to be fair is a small to mid-size. It's not like they're huge or nothing.
Well, it's not super, but they've already released those big level games, and they're not even directly under you. They're under another company you bought. Mm-hmm. So like, but Bethesda ain't got time to check on that because they keep pushing back Starfield.
Yeah.
And whatever version of Elder Scrolls 6 that they're allegedly working on, which, I mean, maybe you should get some of them folks to go work on Starfield so that you can get that done.
I think they already did that.
Okay, well, that's not working.
Because allegedly Starfield's coming out in September now. It's amazing for a game that was supposed to have been out last November and then back in March.
11/11/22.
Hey, you know what? Y'all complain about it get pushed back, but I'd rather get pushed back and working than get something garbage.
Talk to him.
No, I agree.
Hey, no Jedi survivors out here.
Yeah, and yeah,
now,
and
the
this
Jedi Survivor, that's only the PC version. The PS5 seems to be running fine.
No, I've heard the PS5 version was having issues.
You got to
too.
run. You can't run it in. You got to run it in performance mode. You can't run it in if you're trying to do like the HDR 4K and all that stuff, you have to run it in performance mode. You can't run it in the prettier version. No, it's too much, right? Like it's not the PS5's fault. They've like EA or whoever the people that made it. Criterion? No, not Criterion. That's Need for Speed.
Who cares?
Infinity Ward. The guys that from Infinity Ward, they went and formed
Respawn.
Respawn.
There we go.
Yeah.
They need to patch it. Basically, is what they said. Like it's not the system's fault. It's just it's not optimized like it's supposed to be.
I don't know.
Maybe it's harder to make
We
games.
haven't had any issues here.
No, I don't. I'm talking about more of having to get the rest of the game, and you got to do all these big patches and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind Starfield being delayed. I want to play it. It's the only thing I'm mad about. Is I just want to play it really bad.
I just want Elder Scrolls. I'm okay with Starfield. It's like, okay,
I've never liked
sure.
Elder Scrolls, so
Oh, well.
I can leave that.
All that might and magic stuff. That's what you want, bro. You getting Tears of the Kingdom. Okay, that's your
Yeah, I know.
high fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to do that.
Okay, then you don't need Elder Scrolls 6.
And then by the time that's over,
Y'all Final Fantasy.
it's time for Elder Scrolls.
I'll start Final Fantasy.
I mean,
you're gonna have to put this. Listen, I don't know if you realize this yet. You keep acting like that you got all this time. Okay, you got to jam this in, buddy. Okay,
Might get done with
Hey,
Tears of the Kingdom
listen,
by the time.
Well, true.
ain't none of this
You got
100%.
Street Fighter 6 coming out.
Ain't none of this 100% new game plus playthrough. I'm on my third. That's dead. Okay, get through it. See him beat Ganon again. Get help Zelda probably lose another arm or something so we can do Arms of the Kingdom or something. I don't know what they want to do this time. Or Feet of the Kingdom. But buddy, you got like 3 weeks to get this done. 2.5 if we're being real.
Yeah.
Get it
pretty
done.
much. Yeah.
Because it's time to talk about strength and what does power mean to you and all of that and the spirit of fighting.
Oh, man.
So
One more thing on Redfall 2. I looked up.
They made a sequel?
No,
Yeah.
Redfall
Also.
as well. I looked up what most folks' complaint was about it because we talked about it on your stream, and I was like, "What? So what is it? What besides just the game quality itself or whatnot? What is it that folks are most upset about it?" The biggest complaint about it was that folks were confused about what type of game it was.
really,
Do you feel like what they've shown before didn't
that's probably the only
intimate
thing.
what the game actually
That's
is?
probably the only clear thing that they were able to articulate as far as what it was supposed
Left
to
4
be.
Dead for vampires.
I
right?
thought the
Yeah.
same. More or less, yeah.
And then he just had loot. That was the thing. It was like, look, we got level up system. Like you could be able to level your character up, and then which again, the level up system is actually pretty decent. There's some ways to kind of do your thing. You can respect and all of that.
Yeah.
But then you had loot, and instead of zombies, it was vampires and people.
So apparently, a lot of folks, going off the internet, the majority of folks were confused. They did not expect the game to be what they call Destiny with vampires.
I don't think it's not.
I can see that.
It's not really Destiny, but I mean, it's Destiny-ish.
I mean, that's just because Destiny took a bunch of like already successful gameplay stuff and
just
amalgamated it into
a
'cause they wanted
shooter.
Yeah, they wanted to make Halo MMO.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
But yeah.
But I mean, the trailers that they shown for it, that's exactly what I thought the game was.
yeah. I have no idea why they were confused.
So I guess folks thought it was going to be a co-op, just straight action game where you go through
Well, I do
levels
know.
and stuff.
I saw people thinking that it was going to be 4-player Dishonored. They were like, they thought it was going to be like more Death Loopish and Dishonored. It's like no,
Yeah, no.
because the enemies clearly are like, to your point about no enemies in the game, right? Dishonored and Deathloop is a game where you can end up having like barely seeing enemies. There's 3 or 4 in this area, 4 or 5 in this area, because you're not meant to actually be fighting things.
Yeah,
in large
fighting is
groups.
not the main thing in those
Yeah.
games.
You could technically do that, but it's
You
probably going to
can.
be very hard to
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And Dishonored, you pretty much ruin the world by killing people. But this game was supposed to be more looty shooty. Like I don't get that part.
Yeah. When I saw it, I thought, oh, okay, well, this is a multiplayer game. It's probably going to be exactly what it is. I wasn't confused, but I'm not saying anybody that was confused is an idiot or something like that.
No, they are. I'll say it.
Well, Zach is saying it. I'm not. But
There's a lot of
it's
stupid
just,
people in this world, Nolan.
it's just I wonder.
And once you realize that, life will be better.
Trust me, I already know. But I wonder what could have been advertised differently to make it more clear, I guess.
Yeah.
It may just be a thing where
I didn't watch
I can
hardly-
recognize it, but other folks just can't.
I didn't watch hardly anything on it.
It was
And
really
I
the
understood
only.
what it was.
Yeah.
I also think the one
People are
final
stupid.
thing
That's just that's what it is.
coming out shortly after Dead Island 2. was a terrible idea from just comparison of quality.
Yeah.
Like it looked like if you just put them side by side, and I know they're not technically the same type of games, but they are similar in kind of the multiplayer,
similar-ish.
level up your character,
Yeah.
horde. Where you
Graphically, they look completely different.
one's a next gen game and one's Arcane. I mean, not Arcane, Redfall.
Redfall, yeah.
Arcane Studios.
So
I don't know. I think some of these studios just don't know how to work on something of the quality of like a Dead Island or God of War or any of these.
I'm wondering if it was just Arcane not really knowing how to take advantage of the new hardware or something.
Yeah, that could definitely be it.
Because again, folks, their games sold well, but they really aren't, a giant company or nothing like that.
Man, listen, I didn't realize how many people had Arcane Studios in such high esteem and how betrayed they are by the release of Redfall.
Well, think about all the games that they made. They made, the two Dishonored games, which were
Weren't they like really short?
the first one can actually be super short if you just kill.
Yeah, if you just run through it. But yeah, I mean, they're not the longest game in the world.
No, I mean, the games weren't, to me, the games weren't bad. They were always like,
I never played them.
they're always a notch below
Yeah.
the best of that genre. So
Yep.
if like, I'm trying to think, what game would I compare Dishonored?
Dishonored was like
Bioshock. Yeah. So like Bioshock, this is the gold standard.
Dishonored.
pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good.
for a company I've never heard of to come out and just make a game kind of like that, this is really good.
Yeah.
But they make those two. They make Deathloop, which was a game of the year.
Yeah.
They
For
make
some, yeah, I just
for something, yeah.
for some.
Yeah. And then they also make Prey.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Prey game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was also, pretty good. But it also felt more advanced. Always makes me wonder if like they put the B team on this one and maybe the A team is making something else that we don't know about that they're
Could
going to
be.
talk about next
Or I
month.
mean, it could be the different scope because a lot of those are pretty linear games. aren't
Exactly.
Well,
It could,
you go.
and that goes back to maybe the team just didn't.
they? Know how to
This was
optimize.
their first time jumping into this type of game, and maybe it was a little bit harder than they thought it was going to be.
Because in a linear game, you don't have to worry as much about optimizing because you're not loading in as much stuff.
Yeah, because the way like Dishonored and Deathloop, those games worked at least. Because I didn't play Prey. I know it's supposed to be really good, but I just never got a chance to play it. It's basically point A, point B, and you decide based on how you build your character and what you spec into how you get to point B.
Yeah.
But there's only one place to go. Like Dishonored, the biggest thing was if you kill people by the time you get to B, there's a certain outcome to the story. If you decided to just subdue and like
Sneak and
and not kill or like do the minimal amount of killing, then when you get to B, then the ending is different. That was the biggest thing is, the more you kill, because it becomes easier to do because you get like the rat powers and all that stuff, and you could basically make the rats do it all for you. But that means you're killing, which you're not really supposed to be. You're supposed to be like a bodyguard, and you're trying to like fix what's going on with the minimal amount of casualties. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think with Redfall, it was like they hadn't really done multiplayer because the Deathloop multiplayer was very weird. Wasn't traditional, wasn't co-op, first of all. It was one person trying to sabotage the other person because they get bonuses in their game if they do it,
Yeah.
but
it's also part of the story
yeah.
too. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So maybe they like I said, they have time to work on some quality of life stuff. There's plenty of that to do. Unfortunately, as we've said many times before, anytime there's a new game, if you are releasing a new IP, you get one chance to really make an impression, and whatever that impression is, you in 95% of cases you don't get a chance to redo it. So whatever people perceive you as, that is what Redfall is, and there's not going to be anything that they can really do to fix it.
Look at No Man's Sky. It came out really bad, and they've done a really good job of fixing it, but it's still not as big as it could have been.
Yeah, bro. If they had released
They're
No
just
Man's
a
Sky
fraction of what it
with
is.
25% of what they have now, if they would have released with that much content, it would have been huge. And they would have been able to add the other stuff in and people not really say anything because, like you said, that game is nowhere near what it was the day I got it.
But because they released it the way they released it and had such bad reception, it killed that game. And yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, but still, it's not as big as it could have been.
Well, the success of it is still the exception. It being successful in spite of that is the exception because there's plenty of other games who come out, and once you come out and people say that you're bad, that is the end of that
Everybody's
game.
moved on.
Yep, bro, they move on super quick. Yeah, you might end up with some small dedicated core if you lucky, but more than likely, you're gonna have to just not talk about that one on your resume.
And No Man's Sky is lucky they have a small dedicated core.
Exactly.
And it could have been a big dedicated core though.
And I mean, they really had to kind of re-release the game.
Yeah, they've basically crawled
and just go after a different audience at that point.
Did.
Yeah.
Just crawl back and just keep going and that's a few more people latch on. Them Steam sales was coming in. They were coming in hot on them Steam sales for a while. They ain't put it on sale in a minute. Now they feel comfortable.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine now.
It's a Game Pass game now as well. I think it might even be on the PlayStation Plus list too. I know they gave it out one time for PS Plus.
Yeah,
they
did.
Yeah,
so.
Good luck to him, man.
Yeah.
We don't want nobody to have a failure of a launch, but
again, it's like Microsoft needs to. Their conference next month needs to blow folks' socks off.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm not.
I don't know. Did you see the interview with what's his face?
Mm-hmm.
About how he feels like there's no way that they can come back.
Well, okay, so yeah, he was talking about. How
wars.
folks were talking about basically, he was basically saying it's too late to beat PS5. But he was pointing out that they probably lost the war against the PS5
when the Xbox One
last gen. Yeah.
They did.
Because he said they
when everybody's building their digital libraries.
Right.
That was the worst generation to lose.
That was the worst one to lose because now everybody's downloaded all their stuff and they have all of their stuff on one thing, and then all of a sudden the new systems come out, and especially not having, again, which is their big issue right now, especially not having stuff that really will make folks look at an Xbox.
Bro, they don't.
It's like all of my stuff is already over here when the PS5 comes out.
The biggest thing but the smartest thing they did was Game Pass, because that's the biggest thing they have now is like, hey, you might not have a digital library on the Xbox, but if you come over here, you can get one from the get-go.
And we own these companies, so all of their games are always here.
Yep.
You got all the Dooms except for the first of the newer ones for some reason.
They just need that. They need that killer app right now,
bro. They need
exactly.
And Halo could have been it if they had released everything at the same time. But because they did the No Man's Sky route, people are reluctant to jump in.
Kind of done with it. Yeah.
Like
I was excited about the co-op stuff, but by the time it came out, I didn't really care anymore.
Yeah. It came out way too late.
Yeah, that's been Microsoft's biggest issue. Is just they're like Sweet D out here. They are so awful with timing. Like
it's been
their multiplayer for Halo was perfect timing.
Yes,
that worked. Yeah,
but then everything that's the only thing they've had good.
The launch of the multiplayer, fantastic. Everything
else has been terrible.
Yeah.
And it sucks because they have the Game Pass is such a good value, and they have so many good games on the Game Pass.
Yep. But they can only go off of that for so long.
And it's indie games though. That's the thing. Yeah, it's all indie games.
The best games that are coming out on it is things like what we talked about before,
stuff that we'd spend $10 to $20 on Steam.
Yeah.
And that again, it's good
because it pays for it because it's $15 a month. So you're getting at least one of those. So you're getting month.
Yeah.
But you need something like
but
was the heavy hitter.
As an Xbox fan who is topped up for the next 2 years on Game Pass, even I'm going, there's really no reason for me to play this Xbox.
Yeah.
Or even or even the games on the PC. It's like really the only thing you can do is go back and play the older stuff.
Yeah.
Like I go back and play Skyrim and Elder Scrolls 1 through 5. That's cool, I guess, but I've already played all of those games.
I already did it, so I'm still waiting now.
Exactly.
Like I done ran through so many.
Like what is their when is their next big heavy hitter?
Starfield.
Starfield
it's literally
for now is the only thing with a window.
That game ain't coming out. Did I send you a sacrifice?
Hellblade 2. Everybody's like, so we saw a big gameplay thing for it, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we hadn't heard word one about it since. Since then, the only thing they talked about
honestly,
was Redfall.
I think that game could be the killer app that they need if it ever comes out.
It could be
Now,
if it comes out.
If it's anything of what they showed 2 years ago, I'm all in. 'Cause that looked fantastic.
We know the game's going to look good. That particular game studio, though, is like game presentation has never been their issue. It's always been gameplay.
So Dick, that's why I wanted to make sure we understood. So look,
Yeah.
I know pretty much the handful of you that are going to be watching this. You ain't played Hellblade Senua. Was it Senua Sword?
Sacrifice.
Oh yeah, Senua Sacrifice, right? So you got to understand something. The game is a psychological, mental adventure. There's not a lot of fighting. There is fighting.
There is fighting,
but not as much as you think.
It's not as much as you think, and it's pretty bare bones and generic.
Yes. The fighting that you think you've seen is all cutscenes.
It's all cutscenes.
Okay, that's not you.
Yeah.
You won't be doing that. So, and I think that game, it will be, when it comes out, it will be critically acclaimed.
Yeah, because again, they will make it look and sound good. They will have great voice acting, great animations, and all of that stuff.
The combat, based on what we've seen recently, will be better than the first game.
Yeah, from the last gameplay that they showed, the combat already looked better than anything that was in the first game,
that up.
or any of their first or any of their old games.
Yeah.
I mean, going all the way back to what
Heavenly Sword.
Yeah,
Like
because that was always the worst thing I could say about that game. The combat, meh.
Well, because she was doing a lot of spinning and stuff,
I mean, it was.
We got to sell the double processors, man.
It was like I used to call it back then. It was like C tier Devil May Cry.
Yes. Yeah. With the ribbons and the sword and the spinning and the ribbons and the sword.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh,
Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword on PS3.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely on the rise of the organized level of combat.
So this is the last gameplay that they showed.
This was what? This was during
2021?
VGAs of 2021.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
about a year and a half ago.
Yep.
it
It's
looks
supposed
like
to be
was probably a frost giant.
Yep.
Seeing that it's Norse mythology and frost giants are a thing.
That's the thing, is that this game is based on Norse mythology, but it's its own kind of like realistic, kind of a little scarier.
Yeah. Now, spoiler alert for anybody who hadn't played the first game. She has schizophrenia.
Yes.
So she can't tell if gods are talking to her or she's having an episode.
Yep.
And so I presume there's going to be a big thing again in this game too. But yeah, this
So the world they live in, those things are real.
well, yeah.
So that's the problem that makes it way worse for her, is that they could be gods and monsters talking to her.
So at this rate, the next time they show the game, which better be next month, it better look at least this good. If it looks Redfallish in the way that, hey, wait a minute, this doesn't look like an Xbox Series X game. Where's the lighting? Where's the this? Where's the that? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I can see, as a Microsoft fan myself, I can see where folks are starting to lose faith in it.
I mean, you look at the console exclusive games that are coming out on the Sony platform, and you would be lying to yourself if you are an actual fan of just gaming, right? Just video games. If you'd be lying to yourself if you like, man, them games don't look that good. Yes, they do.
Yes,
First of all, they do look that good, and they are that good. Okay, that's the thing, is that the quality is there, the bang for the buck is there, and especially the other thing with Redfall, and I hate to keep harping on it, but it's a $70 game.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing that people kept talking about, was like, "Oh, you want to pay $7 for this?"
and honestly, I think I said it on your stream. It's like, yeah,
Better have Game Pass.
Yeah,
You can get it for $15.
You can get it for $10 a month, technically, if you only want it on one platform.
True. Is that what it is?
Yeah, 10 if you just do one or the other. But if you want both, then
yeah.
15.
And I can tell you now, getting the PC version is not going to help you much, because it's not any better. You would think it was. It's slightly better.
Well, there are some games that are
But-
console exclusive. Like if I want to play Fight Night Champions, I gotta have a Xbox.
Yeah, and some games that are PC exclusive.
Yep.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, this was one of the games that got me excited about having Game Pass, because I think when I saw this, I had just got Game Pass at the time.
You know what this game sometimes reminds me of? Not visually, but just the transitions from like what seems to be CG-ish to what's actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Rome? It was a Rise something to Rome?
Yes.
It was like an Xbox 360 launch game.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
That it gives me those type of vibes. Like just because of the transition. Because you remember how that game would just transition from
Xbox
cutscene.
One.
It was Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it would transition from cutscene to back to you controlling it, back to cutscene.
Mm-hmm. But again, we're at a
That's
point
on Game
now
Pass.
where the hardware can render, what used to be like only sceneable, it can render in real time now. So that all that stuff is great.
Yeah, she breaking down.
So it's like that. I'm assuming, but I don't know. That's going to be their next big release outside of Starfield.
I think those are going to be those are the two games that are going to make or break the Series X.
Unless they say Elder Scrolls 6 and have a release date of
They're
sometime
not going
early
to.
next.
No.
I know
They're not
they're
going
not.
to.
I'm just saying.
No.
And we not look, bro. Where's the next Gears?
That's what. Yeah, I was actually just about to bring that up because Gears came out right before the Series X, right?
Gears 5. Well, Gears 5 was
Gears-
an Xbox One. Like
it sure was, yeah, because
middle-
that was the first game I played on that Game Pass.
yeah, the
Sure was.
middle of the Xbox One's life. The introduction of Game Pass was Gears 5.
Yeah.
They kind of tried to kind of launch it that way because it was Gears 5 and Gears Tactics.
Yep.
Were two of the big early Game Pass things.
Yep.
And we haven't heard anything from that. And Gears 5 was pretty fun. I didn't do a lot of the multiplayer stuff, but the single player stuff for Gears 5
Single player was I enjoyed
I
it.
mean, it's Gears,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So they gotta figure out.
But yeah, those guys hadn't been doing anything that I know of. They helped. Well, I heard they were helping one of the other companies with something, but otherwise the
Was they doing the stuff?
Listen.
They weren't doing the stuff with Forza, right? Because I know they put a bunch of people on
maybe.
Forza Motorsport.
I remember it was something that was like,
Which
oh,
we-
that's weird.
Hadn't heard anything about that.
Well,
A new,
it comes out this fall, right?
Does it?
I think so.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming so.
They did that video at the beginning of the year talking about it as like one of the things when they were doing the Redfall and Hi-Fi Rush and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
didn't do well for them, but I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't know how that was supposed to go.
What?
Hi-Fi Rush, the cell shaded
Yeah,
action
it
event.
didn't do well. I thought it did.
They shadow dropped it. They did no previews
Yeah.
for it, and it just was like it's
That was
after
one of those things that I guess
I thought it did really well.
they didn't really have they didn't really think it was worth the big push.
The dude left after the game came out. too.
I wonder if they look back on it now and think, had we known the reaction to it would have been what it was, maybe we should have pushed this as more of a bigger deal.
They were trying to do you never know what you're gonna get with Game Pass.
Yeah.
You could get a brand new game and it'd be the super cool thing. And like there were people.
And they could well be doing that for next month. I mean, Hellblade 2 might come out.
You might want to try to do that, sir. If you got one on tuck, you please do it. 'cause
Wouldn't that be awesome if Hellblade 2 gets this awesome, new gameplay trailer and it's out right now? It better be good.
we delayed it to fall.
Well, you can't delay something that doesn't have a date. So
It's true.
Starfield keeps getting pushed back. It's been pushed back three times now.
That's fine. I want it to be good when it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that
I mean, it's
game's
gonna have
not
a date.
be good.
Listen, it's Bethesda's gonna have a
Hey,
day.
I
one
liked
patch.
what they've shown so far.
Yes.
I'm mad on it.
I mean, you can. I mean, it could be Star Citizen and just not ever come out.
Yeah.
but still kind of be out
Yeah.
You just fall through the world the whole time.
You do not fall through the world.
for that reason.
I'm
anymore.
pretty sure I did.
Well, hey, I fell through the world in Modern Warfare 2. So
Hey, I believe it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I've done that too.
my whole game turned into the Rainbow Candyland one
I
time.
spawned and just went straight through it. Like,
Yeah. Go and load it back up, Chief.
was it Star Citizen? What's it?
So there's a difference though. In Call of Duty, you spawn back right away. and you're back in the action. In Star Citizen, I had to walk through the whole fucking place again just to get back where I was.
Well, yeah.
And that takes forever.
Shouldn't try to make coffee.
No, I played Star Citizen again last year sometime. Not bad.
So 319 is seemingly going to be out probably next week because the free fly starts on the 19th through the 30th with the big Invictus Fleet Week thing in-game event where you get to try out all the fighter ships and stuff. So hey, if there was ever a time you want to try it out on stream, free play 19th.
No, come in there and kill me in my stream.
No, it's against the law in that game. I can't do it.
Oh, now we following laws now.
Well, I mean,
Gundam Federation rule sets says not to be.
You were on the opposite team. What was I supposed to do?
How come you couldn't ever be on my team?
I tried.
Did he really try?
I can't. You can't choose which team you're on.
He said 3, 2, 1, go. Load up to the queue. I load up and he's like,
wait. Can you not be on the same team? Like you can't.
You couldn't party during
Gundam. Not in the beta anyway.
Yeah,
in the full game, you'll be able to go into a room and then invite a player with you, and it'll try to put you on the same team.
Try.
Yeah.
What kind of charge revenge stuff is this? It's just you better hope it works. No. Let's talk about some fun stuff, man. Before we go, some things that make me feel happy about, and not have to critique 1,000 things.
Man, I know folks don't want to talk about Street Fighter 6 anymore.
Oh, we're still gonna talk about it.
But all I'll say is that there was a deluge of info on Street Fighter 6 that came out last week on all the characters in the game. You can go on YouTube and find move lists,
combo videos,
frame infos,
yeah,
walkthroughs. Yeah, so that.
Oh yeah, Zangief's Lariat is not a quarter circle.
No, it's 2 punch buttons.
Punch
and
buttons.
the EX is 3 punch buttons.
Yep.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the kick version anymore.
No. But he has the EX.
It used to be like the faster startup.
That gave him lower body invincibility.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that anymore. But he does have the EX now, which is like can be used as a combo ender. He is Potemkin level scary now.
Yeah.
If for anybody that plays Strive that knows about you don't want to get command grabbed, don't get command grabbed. I'm
gonna put my hands on you.
His light SPD.
I'm gonna touch you.
His light SPD has ridiculous range, and it does no less than 25% of your life. His fierce one does 33%.
3 of them things.
His fierce punish counter does 39, and his EX punish counter does 47.
God.
Don't get command grabbed.
Stay away, bud.
Yeah, Zangief is mad scary in this game.
Shoot, Manon is what was it? If Manon has five medals?
Yeah, which she can easily get in the first round if you mess around and keep getting command grabbed.
They was like, no, listen. From the videos I've seen and some of the higher skilled or at least higher FGC ranked people talking.
Yeah.
They were like, man, it's not going to be uncommon to see round 2 Manon with 4 medals.
Yeah. Easy.
And it's like, you got to deal with this for at the minimum 2 more rounds because she keeps them throughout the rounds.
Yep.
So you could be getting hit by, what is it, a 42%? 5 medal fierce?
5 medal is 37%.
37.
Yeah. Which is stronger than Zangief's. Strongest just base.
Mm-hmm. As it should be because you get to build up to it.
Yeah.
She has to do some work to get there, but when she gets there, she's there.
She stay there.
Yeah. And you can build the medals by doing either her command grab or her hit grab. Now, the hit grabs don't do as much because it's a hit grab, so it can also be comboed into.
Yeah, but it gives you a medal.
But it gives you a medal too.
And that's why they were saying that people who knew what they were doing and while people are trying to figure out because that's going to be the biggest thing. You can watch all the videos about, at least in my experience with fighting games, you can watch a lot of the videos about doing your character stuff. Mm-hmm. But to me, matchups are learned by going against, which means more than likely you got to get caught by stuff to know what not to get caught by.
Yeah, I mean with her hit grab though, light hit grab.
Yeah,
light hit grab.
2 medals, baby.
Duck and light hit grab.
3 medals, man.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, she's guaranteeing medals for round 2. She may be giving up, how much she's hurting you, but okay,
Maybe.
now she's guaranteed. So now you're going to block more because you keep getting hit by these hit grabs. Oh, you blocked level 5.
Plie.
2 more of those and you're dead, right? So you might not want to block anymore. Light hit grab. Oh, you blocked again? Dead.
All right.
I'm leaving the room.
So I don't want to go down this rabbit hole of Street Fighter like we do
I know.
every podcast. So,
Some
there's
folks-
still some things that we got to talk about.
Yeah.
Apparently they announced a new Double Dragon.
They
Double
did.
Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons. So we're gonna take a look at that real quick. Who's it made by?
Arc System Works,
Modus.
Modus,
And Secret Base.
Secret Base.
Secret Base is the actual dev.
So it's pixel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like the newer things like Streets of Rage 4, the Battletoads update that we got, or the TMNT game.
No, it's much more.
What's the game? Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
That's what it reminds me
Yeah.
of.
That's exactly it. Still a very unique visual style, but definitely not as not even as super detailed as like the River City Girls games and stuff, which is also another ArcSys game, but also different publisher. I mean, different developer. I've never heard of Uncle Madden prior to this.
No, he's new.
Yeah, he got to be new. Marianne was the girl that usually got kidnapped, but now she's
shooting
she's fighting
folks.
too.
So they have different. They're adding more characters than just the brothers, right?
Yes,
Yep, and now you can
I think
upgrade.
they said when it's I heard that the final game is going to have 6 characters to choose from, but it's only two players.
Yeah. You can either do it, you can do a single player where you have 2 people you switch in between, or you can do it multiplayer where both of you have your character.
So I was happy when I saw it. It's like, oh, good. It's more in the vein of the old games.
Yeah.
Because I grew up on these games in the arcade,
Oh, yeah.
and Double Dragon, we loved it so much.
And I was
one of my favorite games in the arcade as a kid.
That sounds crazy. I played Double Dragon 90% of the time on NES.
Yeah.
Well,
So one time because I played those first. So one time I was at an arcade and I was like, oh, Double Dragon. And Double Dragon was usually a quarter game when some of the better fighting games were 50 cents. So I was like, oh yeah, and I know how to play Double Dragon. I definitely can make this quarter stretch. I'm dead in the first area. How did this happen? Why is it so much harder than the NES version, which is already hard?
Yeah.
But it feels differently, so I can't really get the timing the same. But
Yeah, I remember the NES version came out, and it was as good as you were going to get on a console at the time.
couldn't do multiplayer on the first one.
Yeah,
Could only do one at a time.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
the first game you had
First
to
game was only
take
one.
turns, which was cool in theory because it's like, well, both of us get to see how far we can get, but also you got to wait for the other person to beat the levels and all of that, and you're
Yep.
like, you don't want to die yet?
and so if you just wanted a chance to basically extra lives to beat the game, you always played it in two player mode. So if you first player died, second player gets to try again, and
Yeah.
they each had their own lives and stuff. So
No release date either.
No.
no, it's just
Which is fine. I mean, it's just cool
yeah,
that they're announcing it.
It's just the announcement for it. So
No window.
I'm assuming we probably see something else Summer of Games.
yeah,
Like I feel like
probably.
ArcSys is they're gonna have some sort of like set of stuff, or you'll see their stuff sprinkled throughout a bunch of other trailer montages and stuff like that. So I think yeah, we'll see more from it. I'm assuming we're probably gonna see some other old franchises, make more splashes. Maybe we see a release date for the Metal Slug tactical game. Hopefully, maybe. I'm praying because I want to play it really bad.
I wonder
Yeah.
what .mu is working on now. That TMNT has been out for
It'll be
almost
Metal
a year,
Slug.
right?
Yeah, supposed to be Metal Slug.
Oh, is that what they're working on?
That's supposed to be their next game was the Metal Slug Tactics. We've literally seen zero from
nothing
that.
from it.
Like,
And I mean the TMNT game. Look how long that took to come out.
yeah, took
It
so
was
long.
worth
We got
it.
the Cowabunga collection.
It's worth it. I don't think you
No,
didn't
it was
finish
worth
it,
it.
did
Yeah,
you?
but
I've seen it. I just haven't played it myself.
what
TMNT. I was waiting to play it with my brother.
the new one,
Shredder's Revenge. Yeah,
the one you were supposed to play with me on stream.
that never happened.
That was actually your idea, and then I set it up and sitting there on stream waiting live with everybody else who wanted to join in, but nobody could get a hold of you because it was your idea?
Tell you about some sleep. It was good. Yeah. So since I didn't do it that time, and then because we only played a couple of levels together, right?
We played like the first 5 or 6.
Yeah. So I just been waiting to play it with my brother.
Yeah, it was kind of a pain too because of the way the multiplayer worked, the cross play worked in it. Because I was playing it on Game Pass, but you had to have a
Whatever that platform.
Epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to have an Epic account
Got link
because the multiplayer, the cross platform worked through Epic,
Mm-hmm.
which was weird.
Somebody got to host it.
So, because Ace Combat tried to join me, but he was on Steam. I think Sam did too, and I think he was on Steam as well. And we couldn't even figure out how to get it done. So I just ended up playing. I think we ended up playing a whole playthrough of the game that night. You go back and watch that stream. But either way, still a great game though.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I've been so excited for the Metal Slug Tactics.
I did. I played random folks in and out. Yeah. At one point, we had like all 6 characters on screen at one time. That was fun. Yep. But then you always get that one person who's just like either really bad at the game or for some reason their controller dies or they put it down because the phone rings or something and everybody else is walking. He's just standing there.
Nah, fuck that. That's why I played that bitch all by myself.
Just twirling the nunchucks, the idle animations and stuff.
No, I only played it, but I played the first like 6 levels with you guys, and then I played the rest of it by myself.
Hey, I like the idea of what they did with the level ups and like taking your character into somebody else's game. Like all that stuff I thought was really, really cool. And I don't know what the Metal Slug Tactics thing is going to be because they literally only showed like a 10-second teaser for it.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like that feels like a game that they should have been able to finish by now.
So if it should be easy
like
to
you said, they took forever on TMNT. So
Yeah. And
Yeah,
and
we
they
got
didn't
it's like
have
these-
any problems with that game. Like no bugs, really.
these old school, new school 2D games must be harder to make than we're
Well, a lot
thinking.
of it looks like it's hand drawn too.
Well, see, that's the thing with Streets. I don't
So
know
its
the
graphic styles.
yeah.
Streets of Rage 4 was a little different, and like we didn't get. There wasn't that delay. Obviously, there wasn't COVID, but there wasn't that like delay on announcing.
It seemed like they announced it and it was pretty much out.
Yeah, it's about like a year or so that we end up getting it. Less than a year.
That was before COVID, though. Right?
That's I say it's pre-COVID, obviously.
It was pre-COVID.
But like TMNT was kind of like we announced the game, but we're not really saying when it's coming. That they took so long to announce a release date.
They kept giving windows that kept getting pushed back that turned into a year, 2021, I think initially, that then turned into 2022, and then it finally came.
They put a lot in the game, though.
They did.
Yeah. No, it was
It was a
great
lot
game.
longer than I was expecting.
Yes,
It was.
a lot more stages than.
Especially if you play through the map version of it, where you can do the side missions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Why
Which I'm
wouldn't
glad
you?
I did that
Hey,
first.
why wouldn't you?
Well, the arcade run is still pretty fun too, and even that's longer than I thought it would.
What
be.
is it, like 13, 14 stages?
I want to say 16.
Yeah, actually, you might be right. Because the other games are usually always 8 levels.
Yeah, they're actually not that long. But you know, I've been waiting on what's the game? There's 2 of them now. Replaced and The Last Night.
All those games are coming out.
Been waiting on those games for 5 years now. It feels like
You might.
I think one of them has been about five years now. I know one of those games. I can't remember which one, but the studio that's working on that one is in the Ukraine. So
that does that changes things.
yeah, that changes things. But it's like I don't know. Oh, did you see they're making a new flashback?
That was flashback.
Like
It's like
Was it PC? Hold on. Say it. Was it a PC game?
no,
Are you lying?
no. It's I guess it's
Yeah, it is
technically a PC
Yeah,
game,
there we go. There we go.
but it was
What
on
am I
consoles.
searching?
Y'all were probably little kids when it came out originally.
flashback. What?
Well, just what do they
This?
call it? So that's the original flashback.
Go back. It's flashback 2.
I don't want to see what this is.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
know.
this was the original
We
flashback.
talked about that before.
Yeah, we talked about it before, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a trailer out for the new one now. 'Cause there's been spiritual
Just go back and say
successors
flashback 2.
to this game. Is this the new one? Well, I'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So finally, anybody who played the original
I knew
Flashback,
what this is. I just didn't know what the name of it was.
Yeah. We've seen it multiple times
Yeah.
in different stuff.
yeah, like because that was back when like rotoscoped games were kind of the big things.
Was it only on the Genesis?
That was on PC.
It was on PC, Genesis, and SNES. We played it on
on
the
SNES?
Genesis. Yeah, it was. We played it on the Genesis originally, just like Out of This World. We originally played on the SNES, and Prince of Persia, the original one, was a PC game. And I remember the first time playing Flashback, it was just like, the animation was just like, it was crazy, man. He pulls out his gun and then he turns around.
One of them games where I died as soon as I played it, and then it was like,
Yeah.
let me try it again.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of those. It was tough.
You don't know what you can interact with until you start finding out.
Yeah.
You can get a gun. I'll get this gun.
Yeah. So the new one looks like a hybrid 2D,
It looks like Shadowrun.
2D,
Not Shadowrun.
3D.
Shadow Complex. Oh yeah, same thing. I thought.
Yeah. That's what a lot of folks have been kind of comparing it to.
Which ain't no bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing at all. No.
But that part, yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see more in this because I've been a huge fan of Flashback. I've bought the game multiple times I got it on Steam. I got it on Good Old Games. I got it on PlayStation. I got it on Xbox. Probably still have my Genesis copy somewhere. So but like I said, there's been spiritual successors to it for a while, but to finally get a sequel to it, it's just cool.
It says winter 2022.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what it
They
just
lied.
said.
Is that a typo? Because it's 2023 when they're showing it.
Was it?
Yeah, the trailer just came out a few days ago.
This is a Summer Game Fest 2022.
That one's an old trailer. It says 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure enough.
So they showed it last year. And it never came out.
How did I miss that? Because I sure don't recall seeing it before. There's another game that just came out back in March that I just saw.
It's supposed to come out in November now.
There's another trailer. There's another game. Oh, what's it called? Came out back in March. That is that says it's taken as inspiration from Out of This World and Flashback. But if you look at the animations in that game, it is 100% Flashback. Like 100%. He runs the same. He hangs and pulls himself up. He pulls his guns out and shoots it the same. He rolls the same. It's like, this is Flashback.
Inspired by. It's inspired by.
Yeah.
Based on a true story.
Again, nothing. Oh, it's Moon something.
I know what you're talking about.
Moon Arc? Lunar Arc? Loon Arc, I think it's called. Something like that. Something like that. Because the whole thing is they converted the moon to like an arc and it's flying away in different places and stuff. But yeah, either way, I'm happy that Flashback is apparently coming back this year when it's supposed to have been out last year. And somehow I missed it. So,
That's not what I wanted.
because there was
there was
a yeah, here we go, yeah. So it's much more pixely, but the animations are like it's Flashback.
You know what this looks like? This looks like if they would have put Flashback
It's
on
actually
the
looks
like a
worse
Game
than
Boy.
the original Flashback.
Yo, it looks like it was on Game Boy Advance or
Yeah,
something.
like Flashback on a Game Boy, yeah.
Like it's almost the same.
How do you look worse than a 20-year-old or 30-year-old game?
It was made by like a small indie team.
They
Probably
should
made
be
by a
ashamed of
dude.
themselves.
Yeah.
All right, before we get out of here, there's another game that came across our radar that we want to talk about before we get out. That could save the Xbox. I mean, we were talking about saving the Xbox.
Needs
This
to
is
kill ass,
supposed to-
baby.
I think pretty sure this is supposed to be Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, it's Xbox PC, I think.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's PC. I think no.
PC, PlayStation 5.
PC, PlayStation 5. I don't know why
And
I thought it was
Xbox
Xbox.
Series, so.
Yeah. Okay. So it's supposed to be on everything. It's called Chrono Odyssey. It's supposed to be in the next MMO coming out. I don't know if there's a date on it.
I don't think there is right now. I think it's just coming soon. They'll
I've
probably
heard the
summer
name,
game.
but I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's it looks impressive.
It's a Korean MMO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd be
Thinking about
surprised.
Doki V.
I don't know. I've seen too many trailers that look like this, and then get disappointed when it comes out. So
Huxley.
Boy, you better stop.
I actually want to
Oh
play
my
Huxley.
God, I can't
I didn't
believe
even
you
know
put that Huxley.
that game even came out. I didn't even know it came out.
yeah,
Yeah,
it came out as a browser game.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
yeah.
We got some nice backs though.
Dude, everybody cut up, chisel out. Yeah, dude, I hate it, man, because I want these things to be so good. Like, bro, I want an MMO that we could play so bad. You have no idea.
But I mean, it looks good.
It does.
Hopefully, none of this isn't like some Anthem shit.
I am so scared because of those people.
Yeah, I'm always like I always say I'm worried when I'm not seeing UI.
Even when you see UI, because didn't Anthem have
Anthem
UI?
had UI,
Yeah,
bro.
Anthem had UI. Yeah.
Everything.
It's like if they come out and admit something as in like previs,
Yeah.
okay, fine. This is what they aim for the game to look like, but it won't necessarily look like it. But say that.
But like, see something like this, man. It's like, bro, I want an action MMO. I want an MMO that like I want the next version of Phantasy Star Online. You know what I'm saying? Like I that's what I want to be a part. I've never got to be a part of that. The closest I got to ever being a part of something from the ground floor was what was it? The Warhammer game. Was it Warhammer?
Yeah. Age of Reckoning.
Warhammer Age of Reckoning. Like I played that game from beta and launch, and like it was really cool, but we realized shortly into its life cycle that it wasn't
broken.
it wasn't gonna last. And like remember, like with the giant beasts and stuff, where you were playing Wild Hearts, like that was super fun, but you know,
Yeah. It's still a Monster Hunter, and I'm just not a big fan
Yeah,
of
yeah,
Monster
yeah.
Hunter games.
like
Even
Dragon's
though-
like we're supposed to get another Dragon's Dogma. And
Oh,
that was
yeah.
and that was the thing with Dragon's Dogma I was so mad about is that the original version, it looked like it was multiplayer, and then you get the game, and it's like, now you can rent your friend's character to be in your game.
Yeah.
Like that's not multiplayer. You got on the back of the case it says 1 to 2 players. You lied.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what that game's going to be. I'm interested to see if it's
Capcom's on the roll.
yeah, but I hope it doesn't
This
just
looks cool though.
It
visually-
really does.
If-
It reminds me of Final Fantasy, honestly.
oh, shoot,
Yeah, she died, man.
getting time nighted.
But yeah, I say we need to keep our eye on this.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe it delivers, probably not.
I'm not a big MMO player anyway, so
You like high fantasy, you don't like
One of your
MMOs.
favorite games is MMO.
what
Star Citizen.
MMO ish, yeah.
Oh,
No,
it
it is the definition of an MMO.
is just a bunch of people in a game doing stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, but honestly, that's what it'll take to get me to play one. I've just never been big into it. So I was big into it when EverQuest, and I almost flunked out of school, which is one of the reasons I stopped. I'll never forget. It was one night I decided I was going to go into the marshes where I wasn't supposed to be and had adventures with folks that I'd met, and we were just doing all kinds of crazy stuff, laughing, having fun. I looked up and saw the sun was coming up, and I had a Cal 3 test that morning at 8 o'clock. It was 6:15. I was like, I can either try to take a nap before I go to class or try to cram because I didn't study at all the night before because I was
He's in the marshes.
I was playing EverQuest.
Couldn't study, so I was in the marshes.
I decided to try to cram. I went, promptly flunked that exam.
Yeah.
Came home, played it the whole rest of the day, uninstalled it, and did not play another MMO again until we briefly played. It was a Korean game, Night Online, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we played that
Chose
briefly.
one of the shittiest ones to try to get back into it.
I had fun. I thought it was fun. There was these little orbs. My class, me and my brother and a friend of ours would play it, and like most folks were like mage classes or something like that. Now I remember my character had like a big club or something, and my brother played like a something like a battle mage or something. And we would go to these caves where these little orbs were, and we just had a ton of these orbs where you could set up a shop in the game and leave it there. So I found out, we went to town and folks were asking, hey, anybody have these orbs? And I was like, yeah, I got like six of them. They were like, I'll buy them all for like an insane amount. We're like, oh, okay, here. So after a while, we learned that the mage classes needed those orbs to like do stuff, but they were too weak to go in those caves. So we just started to just hoard the orbs, and then we leave a shop up at the end of our playtime, and then leave. And by the time we came back the next time, all the orbs would be sold out.
How long ago was this?
This was years ago. Wow, I was still working at GameStop, I think. So it was like 2000.
There's Night Online.
I believe so.
Was it? Did it look like this?
From what I remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember my brother went on a few years ago just to see if it was still around, and it was, and his character was still there.
Oh. Nice.
Man, I used to play this MMO before World of Warcraft. I don't know if it was a fever dream. But I could have sworn I played it for a while, but it was isometric.
Okay.
And that's all I think I remember. That's the only thing I remember.
Diablo-like.
No, it was like a MM. It wasn't Diablo like. And the one thing I can remember, you can jump really fucking far. That's how you traverse the area. You wouldn't have mounts. You jump everywhere. I can't remember.
City of Heroes?
No. It was fantasy.
Okay. I like City of Heroes. We played it at the dock station a couple times. That was kind of fun. But you had to get a subscription.
Yeah.
So I think we bought. I know. Remember when you used to buy those? It came with the month. Part of you buying the game, you always got a month of the subscription. So I think we just did that. But it was fun. And then we all played DC Universe when it first came out. And that wasn't bad, but back then it didn't have like whatever the base story content which you really didn't need anybody to do it with. You could just do it by yourself. But I remember after we all did that stuff, it was just like, there was like some slight PvP, but it really wasn't fleshed out yet either. We all picked villains, didn't we? If I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember. I don't remember what my character was.
I know I had a dude who looked like he was black and purple, but I used guns, and I had like the third eye symbol was my thing. It was like guns and magic. I think I was doing like healing at the time because I'm always trying to play support because I don't want big responsibilities. I want to win off somebody else's real hard work. Mm-hmm. I can just keep you alive, do your thing, and we'll be fine.
Well, yeah. I think that's this week's episode. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube.
Give us feedback on what you thought about Redfall, or any of the other games that we discussed, or what you looking forward to, man.
Leave a review on where you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify.
5 stars only.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
All right. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Crossover combination.